Hello and welcome to this week's look at action and stunts on film and television. How are you doing? You're looking very well. I trust you are feeling pretty good. We're going back in time again this week to 1998, and the movie is Ronin, which of course directed by John Frankenheimer, starring Robert De Niro and a cast of many. And it's car chases. You know, we touched on this in the podcast this week. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that, the link is down in the notes if you want to give that a click on the link tree. It's one of those, you know, you put a car chase in a movie and it changes. Something happens, you know. You've seen those movies where the script's really bad and the story's very poor and it's just not working, and so somebody says, we need more of that car chase. You know, the car chase we did, we need more of that, and they throw more of it in, and then when the edit happens, you find that there is action cue after action cue again and again, and the pace of the movie increases, but the plot is still terribly confusing. And then you have those movies that are only remembered for their car chases. Bullet is a really good example of, nobody talks about anything else in the picture but the car chase. Now, is that because the car chase is really good and the movie needed more work, or is it, you know, is there something else playing up there that just the balance isn't right? And then you get movies like The French Connection, which kind of started that whole balance thing. There is a very important car chase in the picture, but this has been leading up to that, and the story before and afterwards leads up to that point. Well, Ronin's very much that, in the respect of having a picture which has a great cast, good story, it's very well directed, performances are very good, I think, and it's accentuated by the action. So what you do is you have Joe Dunne as stunt coordinator, physical stunt coordinator. I did make the difference there in the podcast earlier, but he's in charge of the physical action, individuals, stunt performers around vehicles. He will work in conjunction with the vehicle stunt team for general understanding of where everything needs to be. But from that perspective, there's a scene which we will look at in the cafe, which we will look at. And then from the vehicle side, you have JEAN-CLAUDE LAGINEZ. JEAN-CLAUDE LAGINEZ is an extraordinary individual, and all of his team are hand-picked, and they are from motor racing or rally driving backgrounds, because you want to have the very best. And if you have a niche team that you can work with, and you don't have to give them a great deal of instruction, because they know exactly what it is you're looking for, they know exactly what it is you need, and they produce the goods based on those requirements. And I think this is a very, very good example of what is plausible, what is possible when you have a fairly decent-sized stunt team, but stunt drivers hand-picked, hand-chosen for their very, very specific talents. So let's explore a little bit of this, and we will come back at the end and discuss. Here we go. Right, let's take a look at this initial cafe crash. Vehicle comes around the corner, makes contact with another vehicle coming from the side, and into the cafe. People scattering everywhere, stunt people scattering everywhere. That's the filming of it. They're going to go in now, make sure that everything is good, that everyone's okay. Joe Dunne rushes in, makes sure his people are fine, congratulating everybody. And this is Joe's take on what has just happened.
Every stunt person have got their job and they know exactly what they're going to do. The main thing is when a car's coming at you like that is that you get your feet off the floor so that you're not static, because if something hits you when you're static, you're going to get very badly hurt. So what we decided to do, two certain guys said, right, I'll get up on the hood of the car, and as you saw, they did.
We did indeed. And a closer look, see him get up onto the table and up onto the bonnet. The guy behind is also just going to ride along the front of that vehicle as it's pushed into the tables. You see it from the other side as well. The guy in the chair here gets yooshed out of the way. Now, this is how working all of this bits and pieces out, right? So it's toy cars. There's Joe walking through toy cars, streets drawn out, put together. They're going to go down here, they go round here, they go round there. Sections of freeway which have been built by the set people to create an idea. Then you've got the camera situation and the stunt drivers. So this is being towed, and that's the two actors in the front on a camera vehicle. Then you have a slightly different scenario. That's De Niro behind the wheel, and in the passenger seat is the stunt driver this side. All De Niro's doing is reacting. Then you have slightly different shots. Here, there's the seat in the boot section of the car. That means the camera position is at the front or side and is locked off on the drivers. And the stunt driver does all of the driving itself. The sequences in here are fantastic. The speed in which a lot of this is shot at. All French cars, majority as well. Going down the streets, all the near misses, all of that, it is all taken into consideration with stunt professionals. Timing, worked out to the last detail. Tunnel stuff is remarkable. Everything, all those... This is the one I'm referring to. Take a look at this. Alain Brochet arrives in line with the BMW, right? It takes him behind the seat, just behind his backside there. Took it any further forward, he would be in serious danger. And then plants him into the side. It's absolutely remarkable. Split-second timing is essential here. Here's Alan again. Alain is doubling... for Robert De Niro here. And this is going to be... I don't know who the other driver is, but look at these shots here. He's a brilliant double. What a brilliant double. Absolutely superb. I don't know who the driver is of the other vehicle, but he has to firstly... So the explosion happens. He has to trigger that explosion there. Then he has to fire the cannon, which then lifts the vehicle up and blows it over onto its roof. And as it comes over, you will see the big hole in the back there, look, where the cannon has gone off. It's absolutely spectacular. And when I do find out who that was, I will publicise it to the hilt, because I think it's a spectacular moment. Here, in the market sequence, another slide, and Gilbert Bataille behind the wheel. He is very famous, of course, for truck gags. And on the oncoming head-on stuff... Guess who's driving the truck? Yes, it's Gilbert. Cars lined up either side just for balance. Back onto the wheels. Explosion. It's perfection. So, here is the car turnover. It's cleverly done. This is Michelle Newgarten, who is doubling for Natasha Naclone. She's the lead in this picture. And it's a case of trying to turn the car over, and it doesn't really matter that it didn't go quite according to plan. Up the ramp, turn the wheel, over, and of course it bounces back onto its wheels. Well, there's no harm in that, because in the edit, what Frankenheimer does, he simply says, we'll just edit it before the car rolls back, because it's going to take time to fix it. Here's the edit. Up, on the wheels, turns, there, and there's the cut. Really simple. No point trying to do it again. It works every time. It's very, very exciting. Pretty perfect, right? I reckon that's pretty perfect. I think it's beautifully done. The way in which Alain is firstly removed from that motorcycle is unbelievable. The speed in which that's happening, and that shot isn't sped up. I've slowed it down, and in point of fact, I've had to put stills there just so you get a better look. But that car disappears through the middle, and he is taken out. But the positioning is very, very vital. The positioning of that vehicle is absolutely crucial. That motorcycle has to be in a certain point, and the car has to be in a certain point to take out the back wheel. So it's behind his legs. If it happens in front, then, we're looking at injuries. He's padded up, yes. He's wearing as much as you can wear safety-wise from a motorcycle. But if that's a full-on contact, that's going to cause injury. So that's the situation. Hits him just behind the legs, enough to push the bike out, enough for him to pirouette with the bike. It's brilliant. And he's also the same guy that is doubling Robert De Niro with the bazooka. There's not enough bazooka work in car chases these days. I think we need to take a leaf out of Ronin's book. I hope you enjoyed that. And next week we will be back with more of the same, only slightly different. We're going to be swashbuckling next week. Yes, swashbuckling. We are going to do Delta Force. Don't panic. Delta Force will be coming, but there's a swashbuckler coming up next week, and we're going to look at a movie that's, well, for many reasons, just didn't work. And there are moments in the picture which did work. The action cues worked particularly well. We're going to take a look at that. And it's Cutthroat Island. Cutthroat Island is next week. Do not miss that. It's going to be a belter. And until then, it's bye for now.